What's your favorite 80s movie?
I mean, it has to be The Thing because
Wrong. Gremlins 2. Best film. Thank you, Audio Boy. That's all I needed. Episode done. Play the intro.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So won't you lend an ear?
So, I'm Gary Copeland.
and I'm. See, I forgot it. It's the problem. I didn't take the time to think of it.
Trenchfoot.
No,
Trenchfoot.
I'm the well of good vibes. Yo.
Who are you? And what have you done with my friend Gavin?
Hey, I have a friend.
You're the thing. The thing has got you, and it can replicate you perfectly, except it thinks humans are happy. And
Do you know what? I've seen The Thing a lot in my life.
Same.
Like maybe once a year I've maybe watched that film, and every single time, the moment they get like that scene where the guy's running outside and they catch him and they turn him around and he does the kind of like, yeah, the Donald Sutherland like, what's it? Day of the Triffids kind of like scream.
Yeah.
Still creeps me out every time.
It is horrendous.
Even though I know it's coming, I've heard it tons of time. I used it as my ringtone once because I was that fucking.
But I don't, it's the noise is in itself terrifying, but it's his face.
It's the imagery of his face, and then just
man.
them standing around, kind of looking. Oh.
It's just he looks so unbelievably alien in that.
Yeah, he
that
looks so.
one
It's
scene.
the same like Donald Sutherland in Day of the Triffids. It's just like, I still love the end of Day. Is Day of the Triffids the 80s? I don't think it is, but I want to just say it for a second.
I think it was 70s.
That movie is so good, and the ending is so nihilistic. That ending, I was like, oh, I love Day of the Triffids.
So
Gets me excited in the naughty areas. That movie.
what I wanted to talk to you about is not The Thing, nor Day of the Triffids. This is not a horror themed episode. What I wanted to ask you, because you love movies, and I just like watching movies. You like watching movies too. But what I wanted
It'd
to
be
ask...
weird if I love movies but didn't enjoy watching them. I feel weird.
I love directing films, but I'll be damned if I sit through one of them.
Oh God, 2 hours. Ugh, yuck.
So what I wanted to ask you is, films from the 80s are pretty much far and wide. And I think if you look at a list of films from the 80s, it would be as long as your arm. And every one of them, not every one of them, but the vast majority of them are kind of the pinnacle of family-friendly entertainment. Even if they're not necessarily family-friendly.
Yeah, because even the ones that kind of
Ghostbusters,
pushed
for
towards kids were still like RoboCop, for example,
Yeah,
had like
RoboCop.
kids toy. Or I guess like Tim Burton's Batman came out in the 90s. Well, no, I was 89.
No,
so yeah,
it was 89.
but it's
He's
just
in
like that is not a kids film.
I mean, even Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters has like a huge kids following, but that first film isn't net. I would not class Ghostbusters, watching it now, as like a kids movie. It's got really
like
highbrow humor.
I guess it's why
Just with wacky ghosts.
people look back at the 80s so fondly. It's like those movies came out, they shouldn't have been for kids, but they were pushed for kids. And because the world was just so much more exciting then, they're like, fuck it, let's just take the kids to go see it.
What else? Let's do it. But that's what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to talk about categorically, and I think this will be the name of the episode. Categorically, are films that were made in the 80s better, or do we just have the rosiest tinted glasses? And it's going to be hard, because what we both need to do here is we should probably... I was thinking about this on the car over. We should probably take a few films and have a just solid cross-section of them and try and separate how much we love them to, is it actually a good film? And it's going to be hard.
It is going to be hard because we're going to annoy people.
We are going to annoy people.
Because we're going to be us about it at points. Well, I'm going to be me about it. You'll still be decent in the end.
I'll still come out. I'll come out good.
Yeah, you'll come out looking good. I'll just come out like the slime, swampy ass monster that I am of a human being.
I was reading up on that swamp comment. I was reading up about Marvel Swamp Thing. You know about Marvel Swamp Thing? He's a guy.
The Swamp Thing's DC.
No. Oh wait, am I thinking of Man Thing? Because you're
Yes.
right, Swamp Thing. There's Man Thing, who also lives in a swamp and is basically DC Swamp Thing.
Just like Moon Knight's Marvel's Batman.
Yeah. But
just embarrassing.
Man Thing, there was a man who got set on fire by a bunch of chemicals, and then he fell into a magic swamp, and now he's this grotesque beast, and he can't really do anything, but he feels real good.
He feels real good? What does that mean?
So for example, if you came in, Gavin, Man Thing would be like, "Mrr," and he'd give you a Man Thing hug, and he'd feel bad with you. And if I came in, Man Thing would be all like, "Mrr," and he wouldn't know what he's doing, but he'd feel real great.
He's an empath.
Yeah, he's really
empathetic. Thank you for saying that, Audio Boy. So he's just like Deanna Troi from Star Trek: The Next Generation. Let's talk about that.
Wait, is that an 80s film?
Well, Generation started it in late.
No, is that film the 80s? Is it an 80s movie?
No.
Well, we ain't talking
But
about
we could talk
that.
about some of the Star Trek movies that came out in the 80s, like Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan.
I think what we should do, genuinely, that's too niche. We should... Not that I'm up for this Star Trek episode.
Don't test me on what number Star Trek 2, Wrath of Khan is, Audio Boy. Just for context, people listening out there. Audio Boy just gave me a look of, is it 2 or 3? And I went, I fucking know it's 2. It's the motion picture, then it's the Wrath of Khan, then it's the Search for Spock, then it's the Voyage Home, then it's the Final Frontier, then it's the Undiscovered Country, then it's Generations.
Undiscovered Country.
Yeah,
that's the one that's piqued my interest.
It came out in 1979.
Damn, so close.
Can't talk about it.
Get fucked.
Yeah, but it's still the second Star Trek film, you bitch.
Oh wait, no, it came out in 82. I'm confused.
Ha!
The first Star Trek came out in 79.
Yeah, the motion picture.
So
So we're not allowed to talk about that one.
Oh, but it's so
it's
underrated. It's like their Kubrick version. It's like a 2001
Nope.
Space.
Nope.
but
Sorry, Daddy.
we should. What do you want to do? We should pick 3 pretty universally loved films, and
Okay,
80s
Commando.
movies. 80s movies. What? I was thinking like Gremlins 2, The Goonies, maybe
Alien.
Ghostbusters, Alien. I mean, actually, yeah. 'Cause I was more thinking kind of family friendly, like Indiana Jones. But we could do anything.
We could do Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones.
Because we know you have terrible thoughts about Indiana Jones.
And not the first one. First one's good fun. I mean, there's plenty of shit that doesn't make sense about it.
But yeah. But that's
it's
what's
good
great
fun.
about it.
But then, is it good fun, or am I just remembering it as good fun? That's what I'm talking about. This whole episode.
I mean, here's a perfect example.
yes.
This year, bringing back to the whole 4K restoration, there was the restoration of Alien, which got put out in cinemas. And so me, being someone who loves that movie,
I've seen it in cinema as well.
plans to get it tattooed onto his body at some point when he can have a financially stable life.
You can get Xenomorph put on you?
Yeah, I'm gonna get some. I'll tell you about it later. So yeah,
Sigourney
that movie,
Weaver in those tiny pants. That's what you should get tattooed.
let's not go
on.
down that because I'm already a terrible person. Let's not talk about that because good God, that did so many things for young Gavin. Audio Boy and I this year, I was like, "Hey, Audio Boy, let's go see Alien." Because he's never seen it before. For me, it was a church-like experience. It's going to
like
your
seeing
Sunday
the face of
service
God.
and God coming down and resting His hand upon your shoulder and saying, "You're all right, son."
No, it's more like God coming down, putting his hand over your face, and then something being implanted in your chest cavity. But you don't know what it is, and then you go in a coma for a little bit, and then you wake up, and everyone else that went to church with you that day is like, "You okay, Gavin? You've been in a coma for?" And you're like, "Yeah, I'm just real hungry." And you eat, and you eat, and you eat, and then a tiny Jesus bursts out of your chest, and everyone goes, "Ah!"
I have no idea what you're referencing. Anyway, yeah, so we went and saw Alien together. For me, I was just like, I was so glad to be seeing Alien again for like the 70 billionth time. Audio Boy, it was his first time. We come out of the cinema, and he's just like, don't really get it. It's all right.
Yeah.
And I
alright.
also saw the 4K restoration in cinema.
All right, show off.
Huh?
Show off.
Well, that was not what everyone saw. you just talked about it.
I know, but
And I kind of did the same thing. I appreciated every piece of it, and I was like, this is still a great film, and it's still a film that I love. But I definitely had a few moments where I was like, this is dragging, and yeah,
nope,
yeah,
perfect. It's perfect.
drags in a few places, and I think that's kind of like what I was talking about last time with the. You can't get over your first watch of a film. So we loved it because we watched it when we were younger, and cinema was a different
The funny thing is, technically, I didn't love it the first time I watched it because I was so young, I was so terrified. I was just like, I need to hide forever. But it was like just going back to it again and again. I just like appreciated it more, and it teaching me about like horror and sci-fi, and it being my kind of pathway into different kind of movies like it. It's like, yeah, that's I guess why it holds that special place.
What the film holds. Sorry.
What the Shia LaBeouf film holds.
Yeah, I was real confused.
I mean, Sigourney
there.
Weaver's in that, so there's a connection.
Sigourney Weaver's done so
lot.
much. But she always pops up when you like in Paul.
I was exactly thinking Paul as well. It was like
I can name
Avatar.
3 films right now where she popped up unexpectedly. Paul, Cabin in the Woods.
Oh yeah.
Oh, maybe only 2.
Good list.
Good list. But, yeah, I mean, but both of those films, it was just this weird surprise at the end for Sigourney Weaver to pop up playing a character.
I love Sigourney Weaver.
I mean, she's great.
Finding Dory.
I never
She's
saw
in that, I
it.
think.
Never saw it.
Yeah,
She's playing Finding Dory.
herself.
Oh shit, she's in Wall-E as well.
Yeah.
She's the computer voice.
Oh yeah.
More alien references. I feel like if you just send a letter to Sigourney Weaver saying, "Yo, we're making a movie. You want a bit part?" She's just like, "Yeah."
I mean, she's probably done alright for herself.
I mean, totally. But
She's never appeared in Star Trek, so
she's prolific, isn't she? She's prolific.
That's
So yeah,
awkward.
so let's break it down alien style first and foremost. Then, and this will be interesting, at least on my point of view, because I'll talk about this film and happily discuss its flaws, whereas you're gonna just steamroll everything I say. Not perfect.
you know.
So,
But then that'll play into our larger conversation about the what nostalgia plays in the overall look of films.
So I think Alien is a good film, 100%. There's no denying that. It's tense. It's really creepy. It doesn't rely on jump scares as well, which is good. It has a couple.
Like the one in the air duct and stuff.
Yeah, the one in the edit, and then earlier than that, there's one where like a door opens. But it's such a computerized alien sounding noise that, and like I think the camera's panning, and you're like, is the alien going to jump out? And a door just goes, but it's fucking loud.
I mean, I'll always make fun of the jump scare that happens in the air duct because it's the guy looking around with a torch. He moves the torch around, and the alien just goes, "Hello, hugs."
Yeah,
it's like, what's
yeah.
It's like that was an awkward movement. It's like the alien just looking for a big fucking hug.
It's coming at him from the face. And then I think the bit I love most in Alien is at the end.
Going to Weaver in her underwear.
No, before that.
Oh.
Actually, no, she's in her underwear at this point. It's when she goes onto the escape pod.
Yeah.
And she gets out. And then she's standing there and she's fiddling with some piece of equipment. And by that point, you've seen the alien, but because the whole film, you don't really see
I just
the
want
alien.
to pause for a sec. You said fiddling with some equipment, and Audio Boy just made a wee look of, I wonder what that means. Like, what equipment she fiddling with? So see, he's also a dirty, terrible bastard, but no one knows about it because he doesn't put it on mic.
And then when he just
I wasn't
edits it
fully
out.
listening, and all I heard was she was in her underwear, and then she was fiddling with something. And
Easy.
I didn't want to.
He went dirty, not me.
But sometimes we all go a little bit dirty. Like monkeys throwing poo.
Like a monkey circle
Like a monkey sphere.
to a cracker. Those are some weird references that I hope someone understands.
Long-time listeners of the show, please enjoy our references.
So I would say the long-time listeners, like 2 episodes.
Long-time listener of, who's that, Ryan? Is he still listening?
Every so often he checks in.
Right, Ryan. But then the alien is in the machinery in the escape pod, and then it creeps out dead slow. I love that bit. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because you can see it's there, and on subsequent watches, it's not obvious, but
It
it's
blends
more.
in really well.
It blends in so well, and I can just imagine. I can remember the first time watching that, just being like, "Oh man, why's the ship? Oh no! Like,
It's on the ship! Put your trousers back on and run!
but
leave them off, it's up to you.
do we? So, because Alien was a horror film, and it was a great horror film, which then swerved into pretty much pure action as of
Yeah,
Aliens.
because Ridley Scott directed the first one. It's kind of a horror thriller, kind of. It's like the atmosphere in that movie. It's so beautifully atmospheric. I can't get over the set design and the lighting and the music choice and the concept art that H.R. Giger created to then
Giger?
create that.
Giga?
H.R. Giger,
I thought it was Geiger.
Well, that's because you're thinking of a Geiger counter.
Maybe. Continue.
Yeah, H.R. Giger, like not only the look of like the alien and the eggs and the ship and stuff, but then the stuff on the Nostromo and the kind of the duet. Well, not the difference between the kind of organic, sexualized, kind of wet look, phallic look, and then the harsh, metallic, industrial look of Nostromo, and just everything about that film is so beautiful to look at, and it's insane that it came out when it did and it cost as little as it did.
Yeah.
And it was as effective as it was, that it went on to then influence so many more of the kind of sci-fi horror movies that came after. But then there's also the argument that it was the first and others after it were able to try and maybe tweak or perfect or do.
Because I think I'm in that camp now of, after watching it this year, definitely. Because I think it's one of those ones I've watched semi-frequently. But normally I do that, I'm sure I've told you this, normally I watch all of them. Alien 1 all the way through to 4.
God.
And by the time you get to the end of 4, you're in a completely different place than where you started with Alien the first.
It's like, imagine you watched Fellowship of the Ring and then ended with Avengers Infinity War. You'd be like, this isn't, what happened? They're on a different planet.
Yeah, it's a wild roller coaster. So this was the first time I just watched Alien 1 and didn't continue into Aliens or 3 Resurrection. No, 4's Resurrection.
Yeah.
Alien 3 is just called Alien 3.
Just Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, and then Alien Resurrection.
The 3 is really little though, isn't it? So it's basically, it should be Alien cubed.
And then there's
Alien Resurrection. Then Prometheus.
Alien versus Predator.
AVP, AVP 2, Prometheus.
No, it was it?
Requiem?
No, it was. What was it called?
The latest one?
Oh, it was
Catalysm.
Alien something.
Isolation's the game.
Alien. God, it was such a bad movie. I can't remember.
Carcinogenic.
It started with a C. Alien. What was the most recent Alien movie called?
Capricorn.
Came out, like,
Catalysm.
2 years ago.
Cringe-topia.
Alien.
Corn on the cob. Alien Kernel. No, it's a K. Alien. No, Colonel. I was thinking of like a sunflower kernel, but Colonel, as in the military rank, would be a C. I'm going to pretend I was thinking of the military rank.
I'm just thinking of KFC at this point in time. I'm quite hungry.
Covenant.
Covenant.
Alien
God
Covenant.
damn, I was nowhere near that.
I'm so glad I don't remember that though, because what a shit film.
It was bad. So watching it watching it this year and really taking it in at face value and as its own freestanding thing. My complaints with the film would be that
It's too perfect.
it slogs in a few places, and that's more the beginning, right? Because once the alien gets implanted, everything after that is tense AF. But the beginning of the film is just, it's really slow paced, and I know that that's just building the atmosphere, and I do get that. But there are moments where you're just like, huh. The characterization of pretty much most of the characters, actually. Like, I mean, what characterization? Really?
They are blue collar workers. They're
The two janitor guys, yes. The captain, a little bit. Sigourney Weaver, Ellen Ripley in that first film, not really. She's just there. Think about it.
I would look at them as like one of those vessels that goes out into the sea hunting, not hunting, but searching for sunken vessels.
Mm-hmm.
Even though that's nothing of what the job of the Nostromo crew is. I'm just saying that's the way I kind of look at them. It's like, you've got your people that are upper deck and your people that are lower deck, and they're just working for a paycheck.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do get that. But
And
the
I kinda-
actual,
I like-
within the confines of the film, the characterization of these characters, you start the film knowing very little about them because it was the first Alien. And by the end of the film, you've probably warmed to the captain. Who is the captain again? Who played the captain?
He's the one that goes into the air ducts. I
Yeah.
guess.
Captain, the two workies. I mean, you weren't warm to Bishop, but you at least... Was it Bishop?
Mm-hmm.
In the first one?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Bishop, you weren't warm to Bishop, but at least you know what I mean? You know his shtick. And then Sigourney Weaver's playing the survivor. The other ones... John Hurt dies. That other woman...
Spoilers.
Spoilers for Alien. Sorry. John Hurt dies. The other woman... Ugh, I couldn't tell you a single thing that other woman achieves in that film. Or even who is she? Or what her name is.
I just like that the way that it's built out.
Is that all of them?
This is this crew on their ship doing their job. They care about their breaks, their pay, stuff like that. But the larger film is about kind of introducing you or teasing you with this crazy or larger universe that it never goes into, which I kind of loved.
Totally.
Because I'm one of those people that's like, I don't need your answers. I like to figure out for myself. So like all the stuff with Bishop and Mother and the communication with like back
Wayland
home, and they're like,
Yutani.
keep the specimen like we want it, blah blah blah. It's like, have they known about this? Did they direct them there because they've known about this stuff for a long time? Like, it gives you so many questions, and at the same time, it gives you
definitely raises more questions.
thrilling experience.
But I agree. But we're not talking about that. I'm trying to talk to you about the characterization of these characters, Gavin.
And yes,
For which there is little.
yes, I can't argue that point. The characterization isn't strong.
Yeah.
The reason I think Sigourney Weaver and Ellen Ripley stands out so much is just because
She's the main character.
she's the main character, and of course, to have a film at that time where your main character is a female that's the kind of hero and the protagonist. Not that it wasn't common, because it did exist in horror films, but usually the woman was some blonde, big-titted
Yeah.
bimbo who would scream.
Well, they were sex objects, and that was pretty much it.
There were, not that, because clearly, as we've spoken about already, Ellen Ripley is sexualized in that movie.
Yeah,
but
they still did
not,
it.
Not to the extent that females in horror movies at that time were, which they were either the eye candy that the monster would inevitably kill, or they were just some bumbling idiot that would somehow survive through the end, but our boobs would fall out.
Was it Scary Movie? Scary Movie did probably that first one. Granted, that film does not hold up, but that opening sequence where the blonde bimbo is running through the house and she looks at the table and there's a gun, a knife, a grenade, and a banana, and she grabs the banana, and then there's a sign on the wall which says "Survive upstairs" or "Death out the front door," and she's like, "Ah!" and runs out the front door. It wouldn't be funny if that wasn't a trope, you know?
Yeah.
So I think Alien is a good film, 100%. Probably not the best one to talk about. So let's move on to, I'm trying to think. So I think you're right. This is going to piss people off. The Goonies. I think Goonies is a prime candidate. Goonies, I mean, fuck, man. I watched that recently and I just went, because I was going through a binge phase where I watched Hook, and that's not 80s, so I can't talk about that, but also not a film that holds up. The Goonies.
I'll stand by Hook.
Nah, man, nah. Goonies. We're not talking about Hook. We're talking about the Goonies. However, the Goonies is also in that. So I watched Hook, Goonies, and I watched Gremlins 2, and then I think I finished with Back to the Future. Now I got no complaints about Back to the Future. I also have no complaints about Gremlins 2. But Goonies and Hook, and Goonies is 80s, so we can talk about it. Goonies is just not a film that holds water.
Well, you are incorrect. Because once again, recently, because Audio Boy has never seen any movie before 2011, and I like to try and show him movies every so often.
That's because he was only born in 2008, so...
No, it's 2004 he was born. We like to... I was like, let's watch The Goonies. So we watched The Goonies. And Audio Boy, what was your feelings? Your first time watching The Goonies? Was it this year or late last year?
It was late last year.
Be honest.
It was okay.
Yeah.
It definitely felt like a kids movie. And just, I don't know. I don't quite see what the fuss is about.
Whereas, from the second we pressed play in that movie, just the biggest smile came across my face. I was like, I can't wait to go back into this world with these wacky characters and this silly story that, again, is not, at times, not for kids. Like the stuff with Sloth when he's first introduced.
Well, the whole Fratelli family, the Fratellis abusing their, for lack of a better word, what's the right word? I don't want to be horrible here. Abusing their mentally handicapped?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I don't want to say
I mean, you just did.
but Philip's got my back. Mentally handicapped.
Yeah.
Go. The Fratellis abusing their mentally handicapped brother and just keeping him locked up because he's...
Do you think he was born of incest?
I mean, do you reckon the incest was Mama Fratelli and the two boys? Or do you think the other two boys were the spawn of Mama Fratelli and Sloth?
Oh, that's interesting. This makes me think of that still one of the most terrifying episodes of The X-Files I ever watched that broke me in ways I can't talk about. It's the episode called Home.
Right.
I want to say it's like season 3 or 4 of The X-Files. It's about this kind of weird incestuously made family, and the sons are like these hulking, indestructible monster things. And yes, it's like the episode's so scary, so dark, and then like Mulder and Scully get into the house, like they think they finally like thwarted these things, and then they find the mother under the bed, tied down, both her legs and arms cut off, and the sons would use her to make more spawns, but
my
it would
God.
just keep failing, and they were the only ones that succeeded. And then they kind of kill them, but with it being an X-Files episode, of course it ends with, but one of them gets away. Because every X-Files episode in the beginning ends with, like, just a wee pan over to the light flickers on. That means there's still something alive
Oh
in
my
there.
God.
But yeah, that just made me think of the episode. And I could never go back and watch. It's like the scene where they pull the mother out from under the bed, and she's just this crazed thing that's just, and she's screaming and just like.
That's not like my only experience of the X-Files is I know Mulder and Scully. That Simpsons episode that takes the piss out of it. That's it. That's all I got.
The X-Files, like.
With like the whale and the hose. Yeah.
Well, Homer on the treadmill. Oh my God, it's hypnotic.
I would say the first 5-6 seasons of X-Files are just fucking good.
That many?
Because after that, like, what's his name? The actor who played Mulder.
Oh God, I could not tell you.
David Duchovny.
Thank you, David.
David
Which
Duchovny.
we recently saw in Evolution. That's a movie that exists still. He
We
was
should
just like,
talk about evolution.
oh, we will. He was just like, yeah, like, I don't want to. I'm kind of done with this. And then he left, but they didn't write him out of the show. They were kind of like, oh, we're gonna like. He got abducted, so maybe he'll come back.
Right, okay.
And then like
They Han Soloed it.
And then like Gillian Anderson was after a while. She was like, yeah, I'm kind of done. And then there was just new cast members, and those two went in it. And people were like, why are we continuing this? And then it ended. And then they did a movie with Mulder and Scully, and then they did another one with Billy Connolly and Mulder and Scully. And I was like,
X-Files had a pretty long run.
yeah, that
Like,
one.
there's an interesting little history piece for me there.
The one that came out that had Billy Connolly in it as a priest who had touched kids, because that's the roles Billy Connolly was getting. That came out in like 2008.
What's that got to do with the X-Files? Well, Mulder and Scully not turn up and be like, "Whoa, we need to get social services in here." This is not our remit.
That's a weird one of like, oh, people get kidnapped and well, there's the famous historical stories of in communist Russia, them like trying to reanimate dead bodies and that kind of stuff. And there's these
Rasputin.
like really uncomfortable videos of like there's just a dog's head, but they've like kind of put electrical charges through its neurons to make the eyes open back up and the mouth move. It's a really unsettling thing to watch. So they based their movie off of that, but they were doing it to humans instead of animals. And Billy Connolly.
So it has nothing to do with the supernatural.
No, Billy Connolly has these visions. He's like, I can see her in the ice, and like they're like, oh, we're going to use him to help find her. And Mulder, and interestingly in that film, he's just like, this is all a crock. It's like, really, you, the guy that believes in aliens and monsters and stuff, you think this guy being spoken to by God, that's silly? It's like, well, yeah, and that's the interesting kind of back and forth between them.
Because you can believe in aliens and monsters, but you don't have to believe in God.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Supernatural did a Hillbillies, like, incest episode. First season.
Yeah.
So Supernatural's obviously well known for all of its
14 seasons.
bullshit.
I
as
made
well.
it to season 5. Those first 5 seasons, I'll stand by them. Solid.
Yeah.
After that, when
I think I
Eric
got to
Kripke
6 or
left
7.
to then work on The Boys later on, I was just like, oh, this show can't.
Oh, is that why he's in The Boys?
Who?
Kripke.
He's the showrunner.
Yeah, but he was Bobby, wasn't he? Bobby in Supernatural.
No.
Well, Bobby from Supernatural's in The Boys. Is that why he's in there?
Yeah.
Sorry, I thought that was Eric Kripke.
Nope. Eric Kripke's just a bald man.
Oh, well, fucking shut up. I don't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, like episode 3 or 4 of the first season of Supernatural is the same thing, where it's oh, what horrible monsters living in this house. Oh, nope. We were the monsters all along, this time. Humans. Because it's an incest episode.
My favourites. Anyway, the goodies.
Speaking of incest, the Goonies. Yeah. Man, and this is what I mean. You love it. You'll stand by it. Nostalgia through the wazoo for you. But I'm with you, Philip. Like, rewatching that now as an adult, I thought, I can understand why as a kid you'd enjoy this. Especially kind of growing up with it. I can totally see why.
I mean, those type of
was such
films resonate with kids so much. The idea of like, you get on your bike, you ride down the road and go on an adventure and to hunt treasure and fight pirates. It's like, that's every kid's dream, and fucking having gadgets and
Yeah.
beautiful girls and all that kind of stuff. It's just like, it's the dream adventure story for every kid.
Totally.
But then, as an adult, if you've never seen it before, i.e. Audio Boy, who's going to turn 18 soon,
Happy 18th when it comes.
he'll be able to drink soon.
Are you wanting to imply that you live with a child?
Oh, that's a good point.
You're not
yeah.
related to in any way. Think about that one.
Okay, Audio Boy's 22, so everything's safe. I don't touch him. That he knows about. If you're a 22-year-old adult, watching The Goonies doesn't have the same kind of effect.
Yeah.
I guess because it's not. You're not in that mindset. It's not the adventure. I guess she's the Josh Brolin of. He's like, I want to work out and fuck bitches. This is definitely the mindset that Audio Boy is often in, I feel.
It's a good cast for Goonies. I'll give him that.
I've literally never wanted to do either of those things.
But I think what
You get more excited about devouring a bag of crisps than you do anything else.
I think what the point I want to hone in on more than anything though is it's less about how the film makes us feel as people that watch it when we were kids, because we can talk about that till the cows home. But what I want to talk about is just as a movie, from a base level, does it hold up?
I mean, the characters. I feel it's got just such wonderful
It's
characters.
got too many characters.
There are too many. Yes,
Data has no purpose bar
as gadgets.
has gadgets. And did we talk about this? Probably died. We did talk about
Yeah,
this.
we did.
We went through every one of them.
We did, put batteries in the microwave or something and gave himself radiation poisoning.
So Data has no purpose other than is of Asian descent and likes gadgets. Chunk has more purpose.
He's comic relief.
But he's comic relief. Then you've got two main characters in the shape of Sean Astin and Corey Feldman.
Yeah. But more Sean Astin. He's your kind of classic.
Well, totally. But then that means Corey Feldman's character is just he's not really a sidekick.
Oh, but I would say like
Because it's like Sean Astin and Josh Brolin get probably the most screen
Josh
time.
Brolin doesn't need to be there.
He doesn't need to be there at all, but he gets more screen time than Corey. Because if it was Sean Astin and Corey Feldman more, you'd be like, oh, cool, Corey Feldman's the sidekick character. But it's Sean Astin and Josh Brolin a lot of the time. And you're right, Josh Brolin's just, for some reason, decided to hang about with these kids for an entire movie.
And then the two girls play female 1 and female 2.
Doesn't Sean Astin get kissed by one of them
Yeah.
at the end?
Yeah.
That's
and then
weird.
Josh Brolin's like, well done, son. Because he was like, Josh Brolin was like trying to date that one.
Yeah.
And then Sean asked, oh yeah, kissed her. And he's like, oh, you old scrapper, you.
Good on you, boy.
You come from my genes. You come from dad's genes for sure. Let's have a shot in her together.
Oh, it's so weird.
It's weird. But then that's the thing you can do about all these 80s movies. We can go back and talk about so many 80s movies. There are so many things that happen in those movies. Just like, what drugs were you on?
Yeah.
There's that sketch that Audio Boy showed me, the Key and Peele sketch about Gremlins 2.
Oh, it's
When he's
great.
just like,
It's a great sketch.
he's just like, what do you want in it? Unicorns? Fuck it. Why not?
Fuck it.
Just
What about a lady gremlin? Y'all talking about a lady gremlin dressed up with a blonde wig, lipstick on, and it sucks a dick of a man? It's in the movie.
it's like what drugs were they taking? I mean, all of them, obviously, and good on them. But it's just like,
There's a lot in them. Totally, man. What other film? Just you saying about us saying about Sean Astin getting kissed. Is it the end of? Was that one with Emma Stone and Ryan Gosling? Crazy.
Crazy Stupid Love.
At the end of that, doesn't that 17-year-old girl give that 13-year-old boy naked photos of herself?
Yes,
The fuck is happening there?
I know that film.
You seen that film? So just for context, the 17-year-old girl is trying to fuck the 13-year-old boy's dad. She babysits the 13-year-old boy, and she's
Dad being Steve Carell.
the dad being Steve, who isn't. I don't think he doesn't put out. He's like
No,
he's
like,
pretty.
get the fuck away from me.
Yeah,
You're
he's pretty
a
upstanding
17-year-old
the whole
girl.
film.
Yeah, he's being an upstanding member of society. It's just like, no.
No, I'm fine. I have a wife and I'm in love, and also you're a child. So then she takes naked photos with the intent to give them to Steve Carell dad. And she doesn't. Can't remember why. And at the end of the film, and throughout the whole film,
Because the parents find them before she can, and they see like the wee letter like to Steve
Yeah,
Carell's
that's
character,
it.
and they're like, we're gonna fucking kill him.
So then, throughout the whole film, the 13-year-old boy is like, "I love you, 17-year-old babysitter. I love you so much." And she's like, "Fucking get away from me. You're a
Yeah,
child."
he has like. I'm not going to relate it to anything that we're aware of, but he has like a full on like love heartbreak destructive meltdown, and he gives up on reality. And I'm like, you're a fucking 13-year-old kid who probably has 2 pubes and has never and only drank non-alcoholic beer. You don't get to have these feelings, motherfucker.
So he's the whole film like, I love you, I'm in love with you. So at the end of the movie, she decides to not give Steve Carell the photos, and because he's graduating,
She's not doing the same thing as the little boy is, of just like,
yeah, basically that's the parallel.
gets so caught up in her feelings that she loses all logic.
Wow, you haven't even seen the film and you've clocked the
Yeah.
time message. But at the end of it,
People should listen to me about
Ryan
that
Gosling does
first.
take a shower and bangs Emma Stone.
No, I
And
don't think that. No, I remember
they
just
do bang.
No, they just lie there and talk all night because he's like,
He's a fucking dickhead in that movie.
well, that's the point of the character. But then he redeems himself. by
Does
the
he?
end. I recently watched it because
You're feeling it.
No,
Tub of Ben and Jerry's.
no, not like that. I was just hanging
The
out.
reasons you earlier alluded to that you don't want to talk about.
Okay. You're hanging out. That's fine. Anyway, cut to the end of the film. I think he's graduating middle school, or she's graduating high school. They're graduating fucking something. And as a graduation gift, she's like, here you go. Gives him an envelope of naked photos of her, and then kisses him on the cheek, forehead.
Yeah.
But it's one of them long, weird... Like, what's that film, You and Me and All of Us? You seen that? Poop, back and forth forever.
What, you just put a bunch of words that don't connect together and then threw them at me.
Oh, man. No, wait. You have to see that film. Is it You and Me and All of Us? Or is it All of Us and You and Me?
Are we going back to
You,
incest
me, and
again?
Dupree.
No, it's not You, Me, and Dupree. Wait, I'll just do Poop back and forth forever. Poop back and forth.
Then we're just on Requiem for a Dream, ass to ass.
Ass to ass.
Ass to ass. I'm gonna make you watch that film.
No.
Me, you, and everyone we know. Basically, sorry, man, sideline again. In
almost
You,
like we
Me, and
have the
everyone we
Meandering
know,
Movie podcast.
there's 2 kids fucking around on Omegle, or the 1993 equivalent, and they start talking to this woman, and one of the kids is like 11, and then the other one is 4.
Sure.
So then the older one's like, I'm going to say, show us your boobies or bosoms. And then the woman responds like, I'll show you my bosoms. He goes, it's a dude. And then the little kid's like, I want to write a message. Let me do one. He's like, fine, do it. I want to poop back and forth forever. To which the person
Oh
on the
yeah,
computer,
that sounds familiar.
the person on the computer is then like, tell me more. So the little kid writes out the whole thing about, I want to poop in your butt, and then you poop it back into my butt, and then we just put the same poop back and forth forever. And fast forward to near the end of the film, they agree to meet up, and it's this shot of a woman sitting on a bench looking around, and there's people walking past, and she's like, and then there's not. And then the little 4-year-old kid walks up and sits on the bench next to her and just looks, and the woman realizes, and it's just like, fuck my life. But then does the same really long, awkward kiss of a minor, but it's even worse because she's a 30-something and he's 4. Oh, it's a weird film.
So she wanted
She wanted to poop back and forth forever. Yes,
I wasn't ready for these type of emotions today.
I'll show you it after this.
No, I'm good. I'm alright.
It's interesting.
I'd rather just keep it in.
Keep it at arm's length.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's over there somewhere. Right. So Goonies. I think it's a film that, it's, again, with the nostalgia glasses on, 100%. I love watching that film. Because I do. I enjoy watching that film. But
Smile from beginning to end.
But I do watch it nowadays and go, is it quite as good? And I
feel what we have the benefit of is we have the benefit of Audio Boy, which is a sentence a lot of people say a lot of the time in their lives. But they don't call him Audio Boy; they call him by his name. Because it was weird. There's like people walking to work and they was like, "Hey,
got the benefit of Audio Boy. We do actually. Yeah, you're a pretty good metric because
it's like for us, we watched these movies when we were young because we're old now. And they had the effect they were intended to have at that time. But these days, things have changed. Movies have changed. Society's changed. The look of the world has changed. And Audio Boy is a very
solid read on.
Yeah, he's
that.
an up to date kind of tapped into the beat of.
You're the ideal
society.
cross section of a youth in today's world. Child.
What?
Well, I was just agreeing with you.
I know, but what you said I didn't understand. He's a what?
He's the perfect cross section of a youth in today's world.
Just a
child.
Pale white 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Who's
Sure.
on the pulse of society.
Finger
so when
on
you
the pulse.
show,
This is not true.
well, you're more than us. Let's be honest. Because
I'm cool.
I'm wearing a
I'm
Bruce
hip with the
Springsteen
kids.
t-shirt. I am not on the pulse.
I mean,
I know memes.
yeah, but he keeps me up to date with what's happening.
My shirt cost £10 from a trendy website.
What was the Giacomo or something?
Fuck you! You fucking dick. No, it weren't Giacomo, actually.
That might be the greatest insult I've ever thrown at you.
Hobo Jack.
Oh yeah, that's better. That sounds like a great fucking
It's
place.
stylish and cool and trendy. How many Hobo Jack clothes do you wear wearing your
I've never-
shitty fake Letterman cardigan? Not even a jacket. Cardigan.
Don't come at my
I
cardigan.
don't fucking go wear Giacomo clothes, you
It's
dick.
cold. It's cold in this flat. Yeah. So
The end of this episode.
Can you please refrain from shouting into the microphones, please? That would be grand.
So yeah, Philip is the person to kind of put these films towards and then see his reaction.
What did you think of Gremlins 2?
Oof. I haven't watched that in a very long time, and I don't really remember it. If I'm
Well,
honest.
what did you think of Gremlins 2?
I mean, I love it, but that's
Gremlins
just,
2 is the only one
Can
on
I
this
throw
list.
one out there?
Yeah.
The Breakfast Club.
I love The Breakfast Club.
What do
But-
you think of the Reckless Love?
I am completely ambivalent about it.
I'm going to struggle with this one because I really like the Breakfast Club as well. Like I really like the Breakfast Club as well, and I don't know, but I think that's because that falls into the category.
Why?
I think that's just a good film, though. I think that is it's a character drama. It's basically a bottle episode of a TV show, but for an hour and a half, and it's just good. I mean, it has its issues today, looking at it from a 2019 point of view. Bender shoving his head up a girl's skirts without asking if he can. Par exemple. But yeah, it's you know, it's aged, but it's enjoyable.
Yeah, for me, it's the writing and those characters.
Strong writing.
Like-
John Hughes, isn't it?
Yeah, John Hughes. It's like you put those. I mean, it's just
Everyone's favourite murderer.
what?
He murdered people.
When?
Nope, never mind. I'm
Thinking
thinking,
of
of
Matthew
John
Broderick.
Landis.
Yeah, you're thinking of John Landis.
Never mind.
I was thinking Matthew Broderick.
That was only one person.
Two
Two
people.
people. John Landis was. His situation was a whole lot more fucked
This is
up.
John Landis. That name rings a bell.
He was a director, and he was doing the.
The Crow.
No, that was not John Landis.
He died.
Yes, I know he did. The director of The Crow was the director of Gods of Egypt, so that gives you great
Gods
context.
of Egypt also died. It killed me watching it.
Oh, God, that movie. I remember Audio Boy. We'd never seen it. We sat there, we watched it, and we were just like,
John Landis did Blues Brothers, Animal House, Trading Places, Coming to America.
Oh, John Landis.
So it was during the Twilight kind of remake that they were doing, where like a bunch of different directors did a bunch of different things, and there was a stunt involving a helicopter above some people in the water.
Broken
and
glass.
It went wrong. The helicopter fell. It crushed them. I think it was a woman, a child, a woman and two children maybe. It crushed them, killed them, but because of where it happened and when it happened, there was no real, and because of who it happened to, there was no real repercussions come from it. John Landis walked away from the situation. The stunt team involved walked away from the situation. No one really got punished. It was just kind of swept under the rug. I mean, for a long time, the video of it it existed, but it was covered up by the studio, obviously, until
you
it
can
finally.
see it now?
Oh, you can see it. Yeah.
Is it bad?
I mean, because of where it's shot from, you don't really see anything awful. You just see.
Did the helicopter pilot survive?
Well, no, it was a stunt where the helicopter was hanging, and it was
Right.
like to be dropped into the water
Yeah.
near them, but instead it landed on them, crushing them and killing them.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Can't get away with that nowadays.
No. I mean, there's that situation recently. Like, I mean, I feel like it's happening more and more these days. But like,
Brandon Lee.
yep, Brandon Lee
Crow, he died. Sorry.
died on set.
Been trying to think of his name for the last 2 minutes.
Cause I just asked. Yeah, that was a awkward. Well, not
He
awkward.
got shot in the heart, right?
Yeah, it was a. There was supposed to be a squib in it, but they'd been testing it with proper bullets. Something in.
What kind of like that? That sounds like something a bad film writer would write down as a. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think shrapnel or debris was still left
God.
in the gun, and when it went off, the shrapnel hit Brandon Lee. Didn't kill him instantly. It took a while. He was rushed to hospital, stuff like that, but then inevitably died.
That's a bummer.
And then recently, you've just had like a bunch of like Fast and Furious 9 filming, and there was a member of the stunt team that got really badly injured.
Yeah.
There was a situation.
Harrison Ford broke his foot on the set of Star Wars: The Force Awakens.
Yes, he did.
Got trapped in a door.
Daniel Craig gets injured in every single Bond movie without fail.
Viggo Mortensen also broke his foot when he kicked a fake Uruk-hai head in Lord of the Rings.
It was a helmet.
Was it a helmet?
Yeah, because he'd been doing the take after take after take.
He didn't. He almost drowned as well because they put him into the river wearing armor and he like just started to sink.
Yeah.
The second one there, the first one you can kind of put up to Viggo Mortensen was going a bit off script and was frustrated with the takes and whatever, but it worked. And if anything, it got the shot they wanted. The second one just sounds like a bad idea. Hey, Viggo, you want to put on some armor? We're going to float you down the river. That armor's pretty heavy. I'll be fine.
I like that Viggo Mortensen's like, yeah, I'll do that. Fuck it, why not? But he wouldn't travel in the helicopter to the top of the mountains to shoot the scenes because he was scared of flying. So would walk like the 3 hours up and then 3 hours back every day. So by the time he got to set, he was just a sweaty. I mean, which is probably good because his character's supposed to be a kind of like sweaty, muddy, horrible mess. So he was just doing his method thing, I guess.
Aragorn really isn't that character. By the end of the first movie, he turns up and he's just a sweaty, horrible mess. And then within half an hour, you look at him and you go, "Oh man, Viggo Mortensen looks pretty good there." Like he drops that whole like.
I don't know. I'd like in Two Towers, he's pretty grimy, pretty. And of course, Return of the King, he's just he's
an elf
hanging out with ghosts, and then
such a reduction of the plots.
He's hanging out with some ghosts,
Just chilling.
One of them sucks him off. Dan Aykroyd comes in and he goes, "We're keeping this scene."
Yeah, this has not been the in-depth discussion that I was hoping for when I brought up this topic today, Gavin.
That's what you know. What we're like.
It's been a while since we had a real fucking
Meandering.
meander, like a real meander. All right, final one. Is Ghostbusters a great movie,
Yes.
or do we remember it well?
It is
Do
a
we
great
remember
movie.
it lovingly?
It is a great movie. The jokes still hold up. The what do you call it?
I agree.
The chemistry between those four actors, maybe just the three,
Yeah,
is
Winston Zeddemore comes in late.
is there.
and-
Sigourney Weaver's in it again, so it's got to be great. What do you call it?
Why did they bring in a fourth Ghostbuster? Why is Winston Zeddemore there?
Well, it was supposed to be. They offered the role to Eddie Murphy, and of course, Eddie Murphy was like, "Okay, but I want $11 billion," and they were just like, "No."
No, he was all right.
And then so they just.
Wait, what's the one defining character of Eddie Murphy? Oh, he's black. Oh, yeah, we can do another black actor. Was that the thought process then?
Yeah.
God, the
Again,
80s were a different time.
Yeah, very different times.
I do love that in Stranger Things, though. In season 2, when they turn up for Halloween and they dress as the Ghostbusters, and then they have that argument
Yeah,
about,
like-
no, I'm Venkman. Why would you be Venkman? Why wouldn't I be Venkman? Because you're black.
Yeah.
Ooh. But it works because it's kind of time period true. You know what I mean?
I mean, if we ever decide to dress up as the Ghostbusters, I'm definitely want to go as Venkman.
I'm Venkman.
Why would you be Venkman?
Why wouldn't I be Venkman?
Because you're black. Got you.
Oh, man, I set him up and you knocking him out of the park. Well played.
Thank you.
That was a good one. Can't argue that. I'd definitely be Venkman, though. Venkman, Spengler, Stantz. I'm probably more Stantz. If I'm going to be honest, I'm Stantz.
You're the.
I'm Ray. Go on, name them all.
No, wait.
You know I'm doing
You're
it.
the. Oh, I can't remember.
I swear if you say I'm Slimer, I'm going to drop a fucking shoe at you.
What?
If you call me Slimer, I'm going to drop a shoe at you.
I was going to say the marshmallow guy.
Oh, Stay Puffed.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
Yeah. Audio Boy can be Sigourney Weaver.
I think he'd be a better Rick Moranis.
That's true, actually. He would be a good Rick Moranis.
He'd be a great Rick Mick Moranis.
Mick Moranis. In summary,
I haven't seen Ghostbusters, so I know who Rick Moranis
what
is.
the
but
fuck? You haven't seen Ghostbusters?
I know.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Was that 80s?
Yeah.
Was that 90s?
I've seen most of that film.
fucking
I know who
good
Rick
film.
Moranis is.
I'd play the
And I
ant.
do get that I look somewhat similar to him.
Welcome
somewhat.
to living with Audio Boy, in which I'll be like, something will happen, I'll be talking about a movie. He was like, yeah, I've never seen it. I'm just like every vein in my body just tenses up. I'm just like, I review it.
Yeah. In summary, 80s films are just better than what the majority of the shit that gets released today. I think we can agree.
I mean, nostalgia definitely plays a
big
big part. And I think that's obvious.
And we touched upon 5 movies, and really we talked about Alien a lot, and The Goonies,
And incest.
and incest, and screamed at each other. I'm
The
not fat.
Meandering Movie Podcast, if anyone.
Yeah. Cheers for listening. We might return to this and do a proper episode on it. I was feeling a bit saucy today, though. I'm going to take my part of the blame here.
I mean, I got home at 10 to 7 in the morning, and then woke up like 40 minutes before you arrived to record. So
You looked tired when I came in.
these overnights are rough. So
Thanks for listening, ladies and gentlemen. As always, you can find us on Instagram by just searching for the Meandering Movie Podcast. Why are we doing this? It's not like any of us really do any promo, the amount of promo we should do. You know what, guys? We're going to make a real effort at promo. Can't
You've
give us
said
a
that
like.
before. You've said that before.
I have. Wait, I'm going to take a photo of you right now. Right now. Right now.
But we might be cardigan.
With your wee cardigan. Right. Instagram, Meandering Movie Podcast. Facebook, The Meandering Movie Podcast. Twitter is @MeanderingPod. Gmail is The Meandering Movie Podcast @gmail.com.
Yes.
And yeah, leave us a review if you can. Thanks for listening, guys.
I was going to say, if you're on iTunes, you can pop down into the description. I've put a wee handy link to Gary's Twitch in there.
Oh, have you?
So, yeah.
What a
'cause I
boss.
was like, that makes sense. I should put a link in it. So yeah, just check out some of the links down in the description.
We'll
If
just
you're
be
on-
linking all kinds of stuff. 50% off Papa John's.
Enjoy your Papa John's.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Bye.
It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. It's meandering movies. So